Okay, everybody, this is a really warm welcome to our first webinar on August the 1st. And I'm delighted to be here together with my fellow hosts. And James is operating the slides. And we're going to really give you a bit of a feel for just where we are at in our journey. So here we all are. So starting off with Neil and James and myself. And in a moment, I'll give some introductions to them all. But we're here today to give you a really an update on, well, in fact, James, you put the next slide on, we'll go to our agenda. And this is what we want to do. So what we want to do is focus today on bringing our community up to date with where we are in our thinking, with our progress. And so what we'll do is we'll give a bit of a brief overview of GiveyNation. Now, we're not going to, our intention is not to tell you all about this, because we're going to need some separate slides or refer you to our website on that. But I would like to ask the guys to give you a bit of an overview of what it's all about, and then we're going to tell you what's happened so far and what's going to happen, you know, in the sort of coming weeks. And it really is a work in progress, and it's moving very quickly. I can sort of see the strains of stress on James and Neil as we speak at the whole pace that this is going. So I'm going to do my best, gentlemen, to try and draw out from you your thoughts, the things that I think our community might be interested in. I've got a bit of an agenda or plan, but as always, you know, you're both very much disruptors in your industries, and so you've got my full permission to leave our script and say what you want to. So. You happy? Does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah. Guys? So shall I start us off with a little overview then? So
yeah. So
the GiveyNation idea really comes from Neil and our experience in running a charity fundraising platform in what we can call the traditional giving space. So we've been doing that for a few years now. And recently we've had, you know, a big move forward in technology, specifically in EOS. And we've always been very passionate about transparency and accountability in the charity space. And it's really opened up the opportunity for us to create something totally new in the space, really. So the idea is to build a decentralized fundraising platform that has full end-to-end transparency and accountability based on the EOS blockchain.
Brilliant. Thanks, James. Can I get you to move the next slide on, just so we've got the background behind that?
Yeah, sure.
And perhaps this is good for you, Neil. Neil, come in, what sort of led up to the whole idea of GiveyNation?
Yeah, thanks, John. I think the journey started where me and James got involved probably about 4 years ago into the fundraising platform that James mentioned, Givey. And we basically decided at that time that we were already challenging the way that fundraising platforms conducted themselves in terms of fees and transparency and so forth. And we basically decided to create a kind of a SaaS platform that was focused on the B2C or the consumers fundraising, the small charities. We called it the forgotten 95%, which is what majority of the sector under kind of £1 million, £2 million is underserved in terms of technology, as well as the level of fees and transparency and so forth. And we've been on that journey, and we are currently on that platform process probably just over £1.5 million, and got around 1,000 charities, of which there's about 175,000 charities in the UK, which represents the 95% that we're talking about. And then we've got, you know, near 50,000 donors and so forth. So it's kind of challenging the norm. It's there. The other platforms are now obviously woken up to it, and all the issues that happen in the marketplace over the last year, and obviously most recently, you know, a lot of platforms taking fees out of gift aid and so forth. So we've been on that journey of questioning the giving as such from day one, and here we are. A year ago, James very much got really looking a bit further ahead in terms of the evolution of what our product roadmap was going to be and so forth, and you know, we started exploring this space of blockchain, and specifically related to what we're good at doing, which is applying it to where the need is, rather than necessarily all this people talking about Bitcoin and currencies and so forth. This is for us. I've been in this tech space for 20 odd years or whatever. It's probably the most important kind of tech development that's actually happened in my time, where it actually is creating a place where, you know, there's true kind of transparency, compliance is built into the platform, tracking, auditing, fraud, security, trust, or they call it trustless. All of this is actually built into the core of what blockchain is. And from our point of view, the challenge was actually finding something that is scalable, because you know, there's a lot of hot air and lots of innovation happening, but ultimately we needed to find something that is scalable, because we are talking about a market that is absolutely huge. And I think in UK it's about 100 billion in terms of the donation fundraising platform. So you know, that's how it's all come about, and it moves at a pace, and we kind of triggered this you know, kind of start of the year, and here we are.